I've run out of money. Cash is king. I'm not going to talk about business issues particularly because, you know, you're all business people. I just want to focus on the legal side of this. There's some situations that you might face. I mean, all sorts of things can come and hit you that you're not expecting. I mean, just doing well can be bad for you. If people say, I want 1,000 jars and I want to deliver them next week. How are you going to fund it? All of a sudden you're thinking, God, where am I going to get the money? I've got to buy all these materials, I've got to buy all these jars. And that can kill you. So doing well is not necessarily a good thing. You have to plan it all and manage it and run out of cash. But for the legal point of view, it comes back firstly to clear agreements with the people who are supplying to you. If you're business to business, clear agreements with your customers who are other businesses. And that'll include payment terms. It's just, you know, really worth trying to nail it down. Don't leave anything to chance. We get asked about debt management from a legal point of view. It's not just about suing people, because that's really the last thing you want to do. But in your businesses, you really need to think about a system and a process for getting paid. It's very boring, but it's absolutely vital. And it's surprising to us that so many people don't really think it through. But you can set up the systems, reminders in your diaries, have a good person who thinks about money properly, and a bookkeeper, good bookkeeper, who will then chase it, diarise. 30 days, if it's 30 days, a reminder goes out. 14 days later, another reminder. Somebody will ring up the customer. Is there a problem? Keep it diarised, keep the pressure up. Only at the very end are you going to say, here's a 7-day letter. And you've built up a series of evidential steps so that if you do go to the county court, I hope you don't have to, you can say to the judge, look, it's a proper contract for a start, a clear invoice, a chase, a letter, another chase, a phone call, all these things that I've done and they haven't paid. And you build up your case, you have a system. Don't leave it, don't get fobbed off. You don't need to be unpleasant, you don't need to be aggressive. People think that solicitors will just say, sue them. It's the last thing we want to do. What we tell clients is, build up your systems so that you're getting the cash in systematically. And people will respect you for it. No one's going to respect you if you don't chase the money. You've got to ask to be paid, and then follow up, follow up, follow up. Now, there is, oh yes, the late payment of interest. Yeah, you can get interest. I can't remember which minister it was. One of the ministers was very, I think it was Peter Mandelson, I think, years ago, thought that that non-payment of debts was a bad thing, and it was often the big companies who were doing it, hurting the little companies. So he said, we need some big sticks here. So they passed this act, which has actually worked. I had a chat with my litigation colleague, Tom, and he says that he does use it. So he will say to people, Late Payment of Commercial Debts Act, you owe us X pounds. I think I wrote down 8% over base. So it's quite meaty if you can get it.
So 8% over base,
yeah.
Over base rate.
Yeah, so it's quite a lot. And you can say, and he puts it in his claim letters.
But you couldn't charge the same as the credit card companies would charge, 35%, whatever it is.
You could. There are 3 types of interest. There's contractual interest, what you put in your contract.
Okay.
There's that, and then there's court interest. And court interest is at the end of the process. They say it's 8%, but I'm told by my colleagues that the courts tend to do 3 or 4%. But they can give 8%. But again, you don't want to go that far. So you can set an interest tariff in your contract. If you don't pay, interest starts. Very few people will agree to pay it, but it's a bit of a stick. You do realise that you're now being charged 8% interest. Oh gosh, we better get it paid.
But the
so
legally enforceable is 8% over the base rate.
This commercial debts, late payment of commercial debts, yeah, you can.
Is that set by the Chancellor or what?
I'm not sure. I suspect that the rates can be altered by statutory instrument, but that's an act. I can't remember the date, but it, you can Google it. But I know that my litigation colleagues do use it, and it does work. So charge interest, I'm not sure people will pay it, but it does incentivise people. Yeah, the court. Court life has become much more difficult for everybody. The county court, small claims court's 10,000. Small claims limit is £10,000. So if your debt is under £10,000, the system is designed for you to be able to get your debts paid. If you're ever in that situation, you'll be in a room like this. There's no wigs and standing up. The registrar will be sitting on the other side of the table, quite informal. And I know people who do go through this process. They do issue their own cases for debt. Up to £10,000, the court can't award legal fees to the opposition, so it kind of excludes the professional lawyers. That's what it's for. It's a small claims court. And I'm afraid if you're in business for a long time, you will eventually get used to it, because I guess you may have to do it, and you can do it online as well. So people are not paying you. It is possible to sue them quite easily in the small claims court. I say easily. It's stressful, time-consuming, a bit complicated, but it's there and you can use it.
My particular scenario is international.
Much more difficult.
It's international.
Yeah, that's very, very difficult.
I cannot, I'm actually using the Economics and Financial Crimes Commission of that country to try and see if I can get the money back. But if I know what I have known recently, I should have actually insured using the UK Export Finance.
Yes, okay.
But I didn't know that. I thought the Export Finance is only for products. So
yeah.
Services.
Rather than services. Yeah, okay. That goes back to thinking about the fundamentals. How am I going to get paid? What's the security for my payment? And obviously if they're in a foreign country, it's much more difficult to go and get them. You have to issue in their country, or you could issue in London, and then you've got to transfer the proceedings. It's hell on earth. It's way out of this league. I mean, you're not talking about small claims court. It's much more complicated. So don't be intimidated by the county court. You can use the county court for small claims up to 10,000. You can use it for any amount, 20,000, 50,000, but for 10,000 it's designed for a small claim. Okay. Those are the deadly disasters.